Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 522 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Eilon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and an author. Our fifth book just came out. It's called Perseverance and How to Be a Great Fraternity or Sorority Alumnus. So I want you to go and pick up that book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble today. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there is nothing like great food to bring college students together. Fun fact, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. I know it's easy for all of us to think about what we don't have in life and what we want for the holidays coming up. But this year, I want everyone to just be grateful for what you do have. This year, I'm grateful for all of you, our listeners, who continue to listen to our show and share it with all of those that you care for. Let's talk more about gratitude with our next guest. Deborah Mallow is the CEO at The Daily Decisions, which is your ray of sunshine. She is an inspirational public speaker, a soon-to-be published author, impassioned presenter, and facilitator. She values addressing both large and mid-sized audiences with powerful presentations and creative, interactive exercises that will help your workforce, your sales teams, your affinity groups, your members, stakeholders. Everybody is going to attain customized, meaningful, and productive work-life success. Welcome to the show, Deborah.
Woohoo! I'm so excited to be here and to hopefully inspire everybody listening, because my journey wasn't a straight line, and you don't have to worry if your journey isn't either. It's finding your purpose and passion, what you like to do, and having no regrets at the end.
Amen. From your lips to God's ears. I tell you what, this is just perfect advice for the college students listening, because everybody just assumes that, you're just born, you come out of the womb and you instantly know exactly what you're going to do in life and it's all predetermined. But the truth is, we make a lot of left turns, U-turns, I mean, all kinds of, different directions in life. I think you just have to be kind of open to what the universe is kind of trying to tell you, essentially.
Absolutely. And that is such good advice, because if you're open and flexible,
hmm
life just becomes easier. You're less likely to get stressed out and overwhelmed because you just accept that some things work out, some things don't. But the things that don't work out usually aren't meant for you. And just knowing that and feeling that and really believing, because it's easy for me to say to you, but I've seen that over and over again. I want something so much, it doesn't happen, but something else happens and it's even better.
Yep, right. Waiting for you right around that next corner. You just got to be vigilant and be patient, and it's going to be there. There's no question about it. As somebody who was born in Manhattan in New York City, I went to school at the University at Buffalo. And so driving from New York City to Buffalo, I would always pass the exit for Syracuse University. And I thought to myself, what a wonderful place to go to school. You decided on Syracuse for your undergraduate experience. Tell our audience, why did you choose Syracuse?
Well, what I said originally about zigging and zagging,
Uh-huh.
and just because you have one job to start with, maybe for a couple of decades even, doesn't mean that necessarily has to be the be all end all. You could keep evolving. So I've always been extremely goal oriented, and I always wanted to do textile design. That's how I wound up at Syracuse. They have 9 colleges within the one university, and one of them is a really good art college. And they had commercial arts and they had textile design, and I just loved it. And I went there for specifically that reason. I was going to go to RISD, but I decided RISD was too small. I wanted to go someplace bigger. And Syracuse really was bigger, which was nice because you meet such a variety of people, which is exciting. Not just people in an art school, but people that are doing everything. And to remember that networking, and that's a good word, because meeting people and developing relationships over time is such a wonderful part of life. And being exposed to different types of people, different than yourself, is also good because it opens your eyes to what is possible out there. We shouldn't walk around with blinders on. We should be open to the possibilities, to opportunities.
100% agree with you there. No question about it. You know, you worked at Janssen Biotech, that's a division of Johnson and Johnson in sales for over 13 years. You achieved 5 President Club wins as the number one ranking sales performer and number one sales rank year over year nationwide for a period of 3 or 4 years there. What is your secret for consistent high level sales performance?
So I want to just backtrack a bit because, as I said, I went from design, textile design. I had my own business for many, many years. And my husband and we licensed my designs. I was the creative force, he was the business. And I loved it. And we were very successful. But I just decided I wanted to do something different. And I talked my way into a job with J&J, Johnson and Johnson.
Mhm.
Now you go from artist to biotech rep. People looked at me like, what is wrong here? It doesn't work. But it doesn't mean because somebody else says they disapprove or they don't feel that it works or it's right for you or it's wrong for you. You have to do things that are in your heart. And I did it because I love to help people. I help the doctors, I help their offices. I was a ray of sunshine. They welcomed me in. And because of that, because of my personality, because I was kind, because I was helpful, it didn't matter that I wasn't a scientist. It was just my ability to communicate. And that's a key. You have to match your personality to what you do. Some people are more predisposed to one thing and other people other things. And finding that out and figuring it out doesn't happen overnight. So please give yourself a little time to figure it out. So and I worked really hard to prove that I could do this. And I became number one over and over again. But I want to tell you something. It came at an expense. I was really burnt out. I didn't have to compete against anyone else. I was competing against myself. I always competed against myself. I was angry. I almost lost my job because of my anger. And it was because I was not balanced. I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping right. I just got caught up in the whole negativity vibe and everything, even though I'd go into the offices and you'd see me as being positive and everything. But it just didn't sit right. It wasn't right for me anymore. It was great for a long time, but I needed to find my purpose and passion. And I did. And I want to caution all of you, if something isn't working for you, don't feel stuck. Please don't feel stuck. Believe in yourself enough to pivot, to change, and have people around you that support you, that will boost you up. Don't let other people bring you down. Don't let those kind of people into your life because they zap your energy.
Yeah, you really need to look at those people around you and ask if they're adding to your life or subtracting in your life and really make some decisions accordingly. And do that review, I think, often throughout life. I think that's really important. I mean, you're like a ray of sunshine. I mean, coming through, the video or the audio, and you're all about these fewer days that suck. So, what are the 6 keys, maybe some foods in there that are going to boost your serotonin, your dopamine levels, and unlock more happiness for our listeners?
Well, the 6 keys actually came from my book, and I'm going to go through that very briefly. 6 steps to fewer days that suck. So I broke it down. It's not a book that's a chapter book. It's just double pages of questions and solutions and action items and everything. So it's broken down into 6 steps. So it's making the decision. Then it's ridding your negative, bad, unhealthy behaviors. And after that, it's your mindset. We choose to be positive or negative. And that will boost your happiness. If you're positive, if you feel good, it makes you feel better. So why go down the rabbit hole and be negative? I know it's easy for me to say, but I had to change too. And it's really a choice. There's so much we can't control in this world, but we can control our actions, our thoughts, and our emotions. I know it's difficult to control anger and all that, but if you really want to do it, you can, which then after the mindset, it's the actions we take, and then it's the attitude, and finally it's making the commitment. Now, for happiness, there's so many things to think about, but there's certain things that boost our serotonin, our dopamine. I mean, certain foods, would you believe it? The kiwi is a happy food.
Hmm.
So are leafy greens, yogurt, seeds, nuts. But besides that, think about eating a balanced diet. When you eat junk, it makes you sluggish. It doesn't make you happy. So really think about what you eat. You can read about those foods that make you feel good. It also affects your self-esteem. And you can choose those same foods. They make you feel better about yourself. It makes sense. Feeling good about yourself and happiness, it all comes together. And then also, because you're college students and just anybody in general, it's sleeping enough. It's exercising. Did you know walking actually can help alleviate stress and pain? There's so many things that we can do to be happier. But my keys sort of go back to my book, but there's so many things to think about. Even a quick thing is planning a vacation that you don't even take. So the point is having things to look forward to. Find things that you want to do and plan them in your calendar. We are in charge of our own actions, our own thoughts, our own emotions. And I just say to everybody, why let yourself go negative when you can go positive? You fight through it. And once you develop habits, positive habits, you won't go back. And you'll caution yourself because you'll feel so much better. And feeling good, you do better. You can succeed more. You could feel better about yourself.
Nice advice. Really good stuff. I love it. One of the things that I see often from college students is number one, not getting enough sleep. So you alluded to that in the
Yeah.
last answer for sure. The other piece is that college students love to procrastinate assignments and things like that, even though they know exactly what assignments are due and when, very early on in the syllabus, early on in the semester. So how do we stop this procrastination behavior?
And believe me, it's not just you, it's everybody. It's human behavior. It's just the way it is. Procrastination, and have you heard of Parkinson's law? It's like we're given a certain amount of time to do something, and we let whatever our work is stretch to fill that amount of time rather than being more consistent about getting it done and being more efficient, because that's really what it is, being efficient so that you could do things in life that you want to do, so these things don't take over your life. So this is what I suggest, and this is what I do. So the reason we procrastinate, there's a reason, because we're not exactly 100% clear on what we need to do. There's doubts in our mind. Will we be able to do it? That negative bias, that negativity bias is a real thing, that our brains, dating back to the caveman, tend to think more negatively than positively. But we can retrain our brain, so to speak. That's in a positive way. We can reshape how we think. So with procrastination, you have to get clear on what you do. And then you have big goals, right? It's better to take those goals and break them into smaller tasks so that you can feel good that you're making headway, that you're accomplishing. When we accomplish anything, we feel good about ourselves. So break those goals into smaller ones. And then when you accomplish it, do something nice for yourself, whatever it might be. For some people, it might be take a bubble bath. For somebody else, it might go out and have a great dinner. For somebody else, it might be, I don't know, take take a skiing vacation, whatever it might be. So celebrating wins makes you want to do whatever you need to do more. It's like a reward system to yourself. And that also boosts your serotonin and dopamine.
Fantastic. Really good
Try
stuff.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give that a shot. This is good stuff. The other thing is that we can control ourselves and our own emotions and whether we're happy or unhappy going into a situation. But sometimes we meet somebody else in life who might be rude, right? And then all of a sudden that triggers anger in us because somebody else is giving us rude behavior. So how do we nurture self-control in those types of situations and not be angry?
And that is the question, because it's just knowing yourself well enough to know that what other people do has to do with them. It doesn't have to do with you. And again, all these things are easier said than done, but just knowing people have their own agendas and other people maybe can't control themselves, or they're having a bad day or something really bad happened. There's no excuse for rudeness. Absolutely not. But we have to be able to take a step back and actually talk to ourselves internally and say, I'm not going to go there. Why argue with somebody who you're not going to win? And it's just going to escalate. So the trick is, and you can't always win people over, but the trick is to actually give them kindness in return. A lot of times when you're kind to somebody or you want to listen to their problems, they tend to shift. And then all of a sudden, they get nicer. But I'm not saying that always works, but we have to, in ourselves, not escalate to their level. We have to take a notch down and either remove ourselves from the situation, either try to be kind and see if we could work around that, or just a lot of times with rude people, it's sort of better to detach, to limit the contact. It's their choice. It's not yours, and it has nothing to do with you. You did nothing wrong. Just remember that. It's all within them. So
Mhm.
control yourself as much as you can. And with practice, believe me, it gets easier. Because I used to get angry and I said, you know what? I'm not accomplishing anything. And the problem with that is you feel worse after getting angry. And then you feel maybe you have to apologize. So before hitting the point of no return, take a step back and just relax, breathe, find a way to not let it bother you. And I know
Mhm.
that's easier for me to say, but it does work and you can do it. I believe in you. You can. I can. We all can. We control our thoughts and emotions and our actions.
I love it. Fantastic, Deborah. Really good. The other question that I have too is sometimes there's this imposter syndrome that sets in that we can't do something and we start hearing this negative self-talk in our brains. What should we do then?
Again, it's the same thing. It's that negativity bias that I mentioned before.
Hmm.
Our brains remember the sting of the negative over positive events. And it's really true. It's the caveman brain. And we just have to be so aware of this so that we build our confidence, that we feel good about ourselves. Because as I said, accomplishment makes us feel so good. So rather than succumb to fear, and fear is a normal thing, but it's not sustainable. We need to work through our fear, push through our fear in order to achieve the good things in life, the things we want to achieve, because we honestly can. You hear, and in my book, I have many little stories on the double pages about people who achieved their success, even with people saying no, they couldn't. You really can do anything you set your mind to. That's the crazy thing. Now, what did you know? One of the most words looked up in dictionaries is manifestation. I just heard that on the news the other day. And really, there's something to it. If you put it in your brain that you want to do something, Our brains are very powerful. Our thoughts are powerful. We work towards that. I'm not saying that it just happens by saying, I want this, please let it happen. No, you have to work towards it. You have to put in effort. But if you do, you really can accomplish it. And just remember, fear is normal. It's not you. It's just pushing that fear away and saying, I can. Make a commitment to yourself. Next time you're afraid to do something, say, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to do it. Deborah believes in me. Michael believes in me. You can do it. But that imposter syndrome, everybody has it. You listen to well-known people, everybody goes through it. You're normal, but you need to overcome it in order to achieve your life success, your personal success, because I think success is really, it's personal within you, that fulfillment within you. Yes, whatever your dreams are, you want to actually capture them, but what you need to do is find your purpose and passion, what actually fuels you, your energy, your positive energy. So I know we can all push through that imposter syndrome and negativity bias. We can. I did. I do every day.
Well, that's helpful to know that you've gone through it and you're able to push through. That gives other people some confidence that they can make it as
I
well.
hope
And,
so.
I think it's interesting to talk because obviously, you went into college at Syracuse expecting a certain thing. And then, you changed, you went into sales, and then, now you're doing speaking and you're an author. So you've gone through various iterations of what your life is really all about. So how can the college students listening right now, how can they figure out what their purpose is in life?
Honestly, some people know it when they're very young and they follow a path and that's their path and they're happy with it.
Mm.
For me, I thought it was one thing and I found things along the way that I loved doing. And that's for me, trying different things, not being fearful that somebody else is going to judge me or it's not going to work out. Because honestly, I say to myself, what's the worst that can happen? I think you should say, possibly say this to yourself, what's the worst that can happen? I don't call failure failure. I call failure, and I say it in my book, I call it education and growth. Because how else do you learn? If you don't make a mistake, you're not going to learn how to do something. So you're not going to get to where you want to necessarily be. It's a process. You have to figure this out. And if you don't know exactly what you want to do, take a job in something that you think sounds good to you and see in that job what you like to do. For me, I liked to be autonomous. And that's what I did in my own business. And then when I went into sales, honestly, I ran my own business. My territory was up to me to eat, to manage, to do well or not do well. So I found that out for me, but each person has to find out what floats their boat, what makes them get up in the morning and get excited. So if it isn't exactly what you want, then you figure out what you like about it and you keep transitioning to find out what it is you like to do. And along the way, I'm sure you'll find out the things that really you feel good about, that you feel it in your soul. It makes you alive. It makes you thrive. And at that point, you'll get there. We all want everything instant gratification to happen overnight. It's not reality. Just give yourself permission to take some time, take a breath, and enjoy the journey. Don't feel you have to rush to get there. Enjoy the journey. That's my best advice to everyone because we get so caught up in seeing what other people are doing, that jealousy thing, that's really bad. It's like Shakespeare said, all that glitters is not gold. It might look good on the outside, but everybody struggles. Just talk to people. You see, everybody has the same problems, the same things that haunt them. And it's just a matter of figuring out how you can work through it. You're not somebody else. Just be you and polish yourself to brilliance. That's what I say. Just keep working on yourself and enjoy the journey.
That's perfect advice. Really good stuff. You know, Thanksgiving is, of course, right around the corner. But meanwhile, we're being bombarded with all kinds of ads to buy things on social media. I know TikTok has their TikTok shop constantly pushing all kinds of things on us. Instagram, Facebook, also with the ads this time of year. It's all about, the top 50 things to buy your partner for Christmas and all of this stuff. And then the ads on TV. I mean, it's endless, right? So, how can we focus more on gratitude this year and what we do have instead of constantly thinking about what we don't have?
Exactly. And what you're talking about, and I'm sure the audience has heard this, it's called an abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset, not, oh, I can't have this, I can't have that, I don't have this, I don't have that. It's just a matter of knowing that abundance mindset. There's plenty of opportunities, there's plenty for all of us, but it's your mindset that will set you free. If you believe that you that there are good things out there for you, then you will tap into that. And you know what the great thing about gratitude is? Just think about it. When paying it forward, when helping someone else, even walking someone across the street, which costs nothing, or even buying someone a sandwich that maybe is that doesn't have enough money to do it themselves, it it actually does more for you and how you feel inside. It makes us feel good because a genuinely selfless act stimulates the brain's reward system. Science has proven that. So when you're feeling down and you're feeling, you know, I wish I could do this. Oh, that person did that. Snap yourself out of it and do something nice for somebody else because that will stimulate your brain's reward center and you will feel better. Try it. I mean, that's why people work. In Thanksgiving time, people work at soup kitchens, so to speak, or different
Mhm.
places helping other people. At Christmas time, we do things, toys for tots, or give our old coats to me. All of that, it makes us feel good. So give it a try. When you're feeling a little blue, just think about doing something nice for somebody else. It'll flip a less than optimal day around. I
I think
promise you it will.
Yeah, you're onto something for sure. A sorority member asked me yesterday, how do we increase the feelings of sisterhood in our sorority? And I said, you need to do some community service. You
Yeah.
need to start helping other people in the community
Yeah.
to get to the next level and extend a hand to them. And I guarantee you, if you're working shoulder to shoulder with one of your sisters, suddenly you're going to feel really good about the impact that you just made. And I told her, I said, I really want you to reflect on what you did earlier that day by doing that community service event and talk about it with your sisters. What did it feel like to do that activity? Who did we help in the community? How did we make our community better today? And if you have those kinds of conversations, all of a sudden you're going to feel this connection between you and the other people who engage in that community service event. And that is how you build those feelings of sisterhood. So I think you're absolutely onto something there. That's really good stuff. The other thing too is that New Year's Eve is right around the corner, and when I start thinking about New Year's Eve, that means those New Year's resolutions that everybody comes up with. That I'm gonna work out at the gym every day. I'm gonna eat healthier. I'm gonna read a book a day, and then we get towards the middle of the year, and suddenly we realize, well, we didn't do any of those things. So I guess the question is, what are your tips to be sure that we actually carry out our New Year's resolutions in 2025?
So I have a different twist on New Year's resolutions.
Hmm.
I think we should all start by being kind to ourselves. We should trigger well-being within ourselves. And we should I do this, I make a chart and I post it somewhere where I can see it on all the things that make me feel good, the balance, exercising, because that makes you feel good. It triggers the serotonin, the dopamine, planning a vacation, whatever it would be to make ourselves feel good. Honestly, make a list of those few things and follow through on that because when we feel, and then you can also put on the list some of your goals. I mean, maybe you have a side hustle, you have a business that you're selling on Amazon or whatever you might be doing. You can list those things and put your goals. But I guarantee you, when you feel good about yourself because you've taken care, you're kind in word, and you practice self-care and self-love, give yourself a hug. Get up each morning and say a positive affirmation. It really does work, and carry those affirmations through with you throughout the day. That's what I add on the double pages. Besides the tips and solutions and the stories, I have a mantra, and it's more like an affirmation because it's something positive to say to yourself to make yourself feel good. And then by feeling good, you're more apt to go after those big goals. When you feel crappy, let's face it, you don't want to do anything. You feel lethargic. So the trick is to boost yourself up with things that make you feel good, being kind, loving yourself. And that's not selfish. It's not at all, because if you don't love yourself, you can't be good. You can't be your best self for somebody else. Think about it, because you're caught up in your problems. The trick is to have a positive mindset and stop worrying about what might be, because chances are, whatever you worry about, it's not going to happen anyhow. You're just wasting precious time. And you're not you're doing a disservice to yourself. So I want everybody listening to now give yourself a big hug and say, I love myself, and I am going to make 2025 the best year yet.
I love that attitude.
Woohoo!
I wish that for every one of our listeners in
I do.
2025. Great stuff. You know, you are living in the greatest city in the world, which is New York City. I was born in Mount Sinai Hospital in
Woohoo!
Manhattan, and I love the food there in New York City. You know, there's some things in New York City you really can't get anywhere else in the world. So, where are you
Bagels.
going these days for a great meal? So that way, when I come to visit New York City, I know where to go.
So I tell you the truth, I am not a fancy person. So I'm not going to be able to tell you about those really fancy restaurants, because although I've been to some of them over the years, it's not really what I like. I like just really good food. We have something, I live on the Upper East Side, and there's a
Mhm,
restaurant near me called Buon Gusto. It's
mhm,
Italian,
mhm.
and it's just delicious, homey food. Or we have a Turkish restaurant called Agora. Delicious. I mean, I'm a traveler, so I like international foods. And there's something for everyone. A good bagel with a schmear. Oh my goodness. Who doesn't want
Mhm.
that? So, just when you come to New York, I what I like to do is my husband and I, we go down to a place called Chiang Mai Thai food. I love their Thai food. It's not fancy at all, but it's, I think, between Grand and Center. Oh my gosh, do I love their red curry. So it's just a matter of wherever you are in New York, you're going to find something good. And it's just your mindset. You go in expecting something good. Chances are, not all the time, but chances are that you'll find something that you really love. A lot of
That sounds good.
international everything here. It's a
Yeah,
melting
there's
pot.
everything. Absolutely. I believe you on that red curry for some, some of that food. The Thai food sounds really good. Of
Oh
course,
my
bagel and
God.
a schmear, you can't go wrong with that. Anywhere in New York City, it's going to be fantastic. So those are some really, really good recommendations. And I've been to a number of Turkish restaurants in New York City, and they are very, very good. I know there are some delicious ones out there. You name one, another one is Turkish Kitchen there in New York City is also another really good Turkish restaurant. But yeah, you can find anything, which is why I love New York City, especially if you're a traveler and you like international foods. I mean, there's no better place in New York City. I mean, you try to come up with a better place, you won't.
Well, I'm born and bred. I was born
Yeah.
here. I was born in Cornell. You were born Mount Sinai.
Yep.
And I tell you, I don't want to leave. My husband was talking about, I said, no, this to me, I mean, everybody's city is the best city. The truth is, home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
And if you have special feelings for a place, sort of that's where you belong, not New York City necessarily. It could be Philadelphia, wherever you are. is your home. But I do love New York. I just like, the Milton Glaser, I love New York, that he did in the back of the taxi cab and
Yep.
didn't charge anybody for. That's that stays with me all the time. I travel a lot, but I love coming back to New York. Oh, it's
Absolutely. I
great. And all the
understand it.
boroughs. I mean, we go Jackson Heights for Indian.
Mhm.
We just go all everywhere to try different things. It's so yummy.
Yes, I agree completely. Fantastic. Well, listen, this has been a lot of fun. If our college students, if they want to bring you in to speak on their college campus, maybe they want to pick up your book, where should they go in order to connect with you and get all the things?
I would welcome, and if anybody wants to chat, I'm a chatter. I mean, that's why I went into pharma sales. I thought, oh, I get to chat every day. Well, it was more than that. It was a lot of administrative work, but I love chatting. I would be happy if you ever want to chat. My website is the daily decisions with an s.com. And if you go to the daily decisions with an s.com/inspire, I have worksheets that are a companion to my book, but you could join my positive energy club. It's free. I'd love you to be part of it. I love connecting with people, and you can download those worksheets and feel good activities. They're really fun and they're a companion to my book, but they can be standalone. And if you want to buy my book, come to my website also and sign up, because I'll be able to share with you the details, the bookstores and the places to actually get my book, 6 Steps to Fewer Days That Suck. And who doesn't need that? We all need that, right? I needed it. I wrote it as my personal guidebook. So that would be the best. Come to my website, sign up to be part of my positive energy club, because I love you all to be. And if you want me to speak, I would love to inspire. It's my favorite thing to do. Actually, my overarching goal and what I'm planning to do is, I've started to write the curriculum, is I want to help nonprofits. I don't want to build one myself, but do workshops for children and teens to build self-esteem, because when we feel good about ourselves, we're kinder to everyone else. Talk about that anger. People with anger and rudeness, they're not happy inside. And building that confidence and feeling good about ourselves is so important to become kinder, happier adults. It's not just always about the money, it's really about being personally fulfilled. So I would love to come to your college campus. I travel, I'll come, or we could do it on Zoom whenever you like. And I would love to inspire you. So go to my website, or you could email me, Deborah at thedailydecisions.com. But there's a link on my website. So it's thedailydecisions.com/inspire, because there's a sign up thing there and you can get the complimentary worksheets as well. So I hope to hear from you. I love to meet new people. As I said in the beginning, that's what I thrive on, other people's energy and seeing people grow and accomplish, because all of you can, all of you have so much to offer the world. Maximize your potential. Go for the gusto. Lose all that fear, because what really matters, your personal happiness, fulfillment, and at the end of your life, that you did something that felt good for you, not what somebody else wants for you, but what you want for you, what makes you feel good, your purpose, your passion. And even if you don't have a purpose or passion, you have things that you love to do, things that inspire you. Go for it. Woohoo!
I love that mission. Really good stuff. Go to the website. It's thedailydecisions.com/inspire, and you'll be able to get those free worksheets. Thank you so much, Deborah, for sharing all of this great information with us today.
It's been a pleasure, and I hope that I touched hearts of people out there. And thank you for this opportunity, Michael, because I just really enjoy spreading positivity and making other people feel good. Because when other people feel good, it's that whole gratitude thing. I feel good inside.
Ooh,
So
good
thank
stuff.
you. You made
You're
me feel
very
good
welcome.
inside.
You're
Thank
very
you. My
welcome. You're very
heart.
welcome. All right. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation with Deborah and you want to spread positivity on your college campus, make sure that you like this interview. Make sure you share it with other college students. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.